Children who have ADHD don't have it so easy.
Well, when I get frustrated, I get overly frustrated sometimes. When I came to my work, I shut down too easily, and I sometimes just have problems overall working and just keeping my anger under control.
I can't concentrate for a long time, and I can get distracted easily.
Attention deficit disorder, or ADHD, is the most commonly diagnosed behavioral disorder of childhood. It affects about 3 to 5% of school-aged children. If one person in a family is diagnosed with ADHD, there's a 25% probability that any other family member also has ADHD. Throughout my experience student teaching and developing professionally at the EDS Teacher Preparation Program, I have found many problems with the way in which we educate students with ADHD. My younger brother and father both were diagnosed with ADD, and I saw firsthand the struggles they went through. My father was diagnosed as an adult, and it shed a lot of light into his own education and the reasons why he felt so misunderstood by his teachers and classmates. When I entered into the teacher preparation program at UCSD, I didn't have a lot of experience working with students with disabilities. That quickly changed. During my first teaching placement in a 2nd, 3rd grade combination class, I had the opportunity to work with 4 students with disabilities. 2 students had ADHD, one had a cognitive impairment disorder, and another had ADHD, anxiety, a speech impediment, and was on antipsychotics. I felt so unprepared. This experience woke me up to the fact that I needed to learn how to work with students with a range of disabilities so that my students can have the best opportunity to succeed in my classroom. During my spring quarter placement in a 5th grade classroom, I had an incredibly challenging student who had ADHD. He tested as genius on the IQ test, but when I got there, his teacher said she couldn't get him to do any type of productive work in class. He moved around constantly, had an incredibly messy desk, and was socially isolated. I had no idea how to educate this bright yet challenging student. Thankfully, that quarter, I took a class titled Inclusive Educational Practices, a how-to class about working with students who have disabilities. I learned so much about how to work with students like him and was able to apply what I was learning to help him learn. I learned that since individuals with ADHD do not look, talk, or necessarily act too differently than their peers, oftentimes people will assume that they can be expected to perform the daily necessary tasks that everyone else does. Sometimes certain tasks can be debilitating, overwhelming, and often impossible without support and structure. I wondered, what things can I do so that my student can complete the tasks that might be hard for him? Individuals with ADHD often experience a great amount of social and relational tension that is related to how their limitations affect their family and friends. My student's impulsiveness affected how he treated his friends. How could I help support his friendships? In this class, I learned about different ways to motivate students who have ADHD. I was so excited when this student and I created a positive behavior plan, something that rewards students after they complete a designated portion of work. It really worked. He was finally motivated and engaged in learning. I also provided a structured time for this student to mend a friendship that was really important to him. It felt really good to have that type of success as a teacher. I believe that society needs to start treating individuals with ADHD differently. When I teach and interact with students who are diagnosed or might have ADHD, I will build them up by pulling out their strengths and focusing on the positive aspects of their abilities. I seek to understand the individual limitations with which a person who has any type of disability struggles, so that I can better assist, equip, and empower that individual to realize his or her potential for positive integration into the world.